heavy cream. We're just gonna add our
Cabrón.
Just gonna kind of simmer a little bit of garlic and shallots in here. This is gonna take a while, so don't let it cook out like that. We're gonna add some salt and white pepper, since it's a white sauce and very French. We are adding some cheese to this, so don't go too crazy with the salt. And nutmeg. And we're gonna let that start warming up. In the meantime, we're gonna take 2 potatoes, peel them, and then we're gonna cut them in half lengthwise. And we're gonna lay them down and then cut about slices no wider than 1/4 of an inch. You want to keep them very consistent, so they're going to cook evenly. So, about 1/4 of an inch or so. You don't make them paper thin. You try not to taper them. Try to keep them the same thickness all the way throughout. So we're going to just do that with our 4 potatoes. 4 potato halves. So we're going to make a little bit more potato than we need for this because honestly we can't make a smaller batch than we're making right now. Otherwise it's just really hard to make such a little amount of food. A lot of times this will be done like with a mandolin, just slicing it really thin. So once that's done, you can put it right into your cream. And we're gonna let these simmer in the cream until the cream starts to thicken. Because the starch is gonna come out of the potato, and that's gonna thicken the sauce. There's a little bit of reduction happening with the evaporation and the being cooked in the oven, but the main thickening of this is the starch. So that's why you don't want to have the potatoes sliced and sitting in water or anything like that, because your starch is going to leach out. You want to keep them full of starch. So this probably take about 5 minutes on the stovetop. And then we're going to put them into these crocks, and we're going to bake them in here. So you're going to do 2 of them. And we'll just put them into one of these, just so it's easier to carry around instead of 2 individual things. Before this goes in the oven, we're going to add a little bit of grated Parmesan and Gruyere. We're going to put half of it in our sauce, and the other half is going to get sprinkled on top right before it goes in the oven. So again, it's going to be kind of one of those things where when you come in, we can get the cheese grated, we can get the demi-glace kind of heated up so we can get that, so you can go by and get that when you need it. Chicken stock, we can have that opened up, so we have that for our soups. But again, that's kind of the only things that will be done beforehand. Ground chicken for your consomme. Again, for this group, 1 consomme. So here, like, our heavy cream is kind of thickened up. It's starting to get a little bit thick here.
Solo eso después ya está.
Oh, tiene que hacerlo carne.
We're going to put it in the oven, let it finish cooking.
esta unidad 28.
No, 27. Es para el final.
Esta es para el final. Este vamos a hacer mañana. Ah, creo.
So
Mira, me
that's ready. So we're gonna add half of our
Sí, el mar.
Gruyere.
What cheese was that? Double cheese.
And half of our Parmesan. And then before you put it in the oven, kind of give it a little taste and see how we're doing on seasoning. Is there any clean spoons in the cabinet over there? Thank you. So we'll just taste it, check our seasoning on it. Just a little bit of the cream. I think that's good. So we're gonna take a little spider or something. So we want to kind of drain out some of this cream initially. So make sure we get the even amount of potatoes in each pan. And then we'll top it off with the cream. So you don't want to have one pan that's all potato and the other pan is primarily the cream. It's also the cream is going to cook in there and it's going to act as a binder, and that's why it needs that time for it to rest. Because when you see when it comes out of the oven, it's going to be fairly liquidy, but as it sits, it's really going to solidify. You're going to top it off. 9 out of 10 cardiologists say this is a great recipe.
They love the wood.
Exactly. You can kind of give it a little shake. Make sure all your potatoes are pressed down. The paper towel. Just want to wipe a little of that off if we can. Any of the sauce that kind of dripped around, just 'cause it's gonna really bake on. So this should fill up. I'll show you once I put the cheese on. So you can kind of sprinkle the other half of your cheese between the two dishes. You're going to use about half of one of these dishes for your plate, and the rest is extra. So again, it's pretty full and good amount of cream, kind of, so it'll hold those potatoes together.
Watch that.
I'm gonna send to my computer.
So it's going to go in the
It's not
refrigerator
really
oven.
much.
Probably about
How many
25
spoons
minutes or
like
so.
that?
I wasn't
You
the
want
chicken.
the tops to be
And
nice
I
and golden
left
brown.
on the rack.
And then
And just left it. I'm
you
glad
put your
it-
tip of
it's
your
still
paring knife in
working.
and make sure that your potatoes
Just
are
fell?
cooked through.
Take it out, did you
No,
drop like
I mean-
the weight?
No, the way.
25 minutes. But
surprised
check them
it's
after
still
that. They might need a
on.
little bit more time. Depends on how thick you cut your potatoes. And your oven might vary a little bit.
No.
That's not right.
Again, use the tip of a paring knife to put it in and make sure that potato's cooked all the way
Det
through.
där
Because crunchy potatoes are not desirable
I feel like 9 times out of 10 if Oscar puts it in 50.
unless they're potato chips, which are actually Saratoga chips. They were invented
375.
in Saratoga, New York.
375.
The chef did it out of spite. This woman, it never happens, right? This woman ordered French fries and kept sending them back to the kitchen. It was a total Karen. Kept sending it back to the kitchen because saying the French fries weren't crispy enough. So the chef's like, I'm going to show her. It
Hey
makes
guys,
it
see the manager? All fuckers are carrying.
like a really paper thin piece of potato and fried it and made a crispy chip out of it. And that's the birth of potato chips. Saratoga, New York. All right, so let's go to dinner. Soak it.